So this stretch is actually named because it's ideal to do against a couch. You want to try to get that shin as flush against the couch as possible, your knee as close to the couch as possible. And then your opposite leg, you're going to try to come up to a 90-degree angle. You want to stand up as tall as you can, and eventually, as you get more flexible, try to push those hips forward as well. It's a great quad and hip flexor stretch at the same time. It's challenging and you need a lot of flexibility, so don't get discouraged if it takes a while to get it right. This is a great stretch to work out those glutes and hamstrings. You can just bend over and touch the toes. You want to leave a little bend in the knee. You can grab your elbows to put a little extra weight into it. And as you loosen up, you can bend forward a little more. You can also really get in there by kind of swinging side to side. The deep squat is great for loosening up those calves and ankles. You can kind of lean to one side to put a little more pressure on that calf and really try to gain flexibility in your ankles. I love to spend as much time as possible in the runner's lunge. It's perfect for stretching out lots of different areas of the leg, but you get a great stretch in the hip flexor of the leg that's to the back. You also stretch the inner thigh. You can get a little extra stretch in the hips by turning and putting the opposite arm up in the air. And then you can also bring that knee out to the outside of your elbow, and that's going to give you a really good stretch in the hip and the inner thigh as well. Hip flexor stretches are so important for those of us who sit a lot or spend a lot of time on the bike. So you want to really bring that front knee forward and push your hips into it to get a really good stretch in the hip flexor. You should do this multiple times a day if possible. We triathletes, runners, and cyclists tend to have pretty tight hips and glutes, especially after hard workouts, so this is a great stretch to loosen those up. You want to make sure you bring your shin as far forward and as perpendicular to that back leg as possible, and then lean over as much as you can. You may start out by sitting straight up, that's as far as you can go, and you may also find that one side is much more flexible than the other, and that's okay. This is one of my favorite stretches. Bring that knee up to your chest as far as possible and then really pull it to one side while you twist and look and lay to the opposite side. You get a good hip stretch, back stretch, shoulder stretch. It gets you a little bit of everything. On this stretch, bring your knee into your chest as far as possible. It's going to help loosen up those the hip flexors. And then you want to work on rolling your ankles, and that's going to strengthen your ankles and help protect your Achilles for running. This is a great stretch for those hamstrings. So you can do a straight leg or a bent leg, and it's going to work slightly different sections of that hamstring. Pull your leg in towards your chest as far as you can. You can do calf stretches off of a bench or a step as well. But if you don't have that available, do it off the floor, and you can do two ways. So the first is you put your back leg is straight, and you're trying to push your heel down as far as possible while pushing your hips up in the air. Then give a little bend in your knee, and that's going to stretch a little bit lower on your calf. Shoulder mobility is extremely important to ensuring proper technique in the water and helping you gain fitness and avoiding those shoulder issues that so many swimmers struggle with. If you don't have a PVC pipe, you can use a broom, a mop handle, anything that's long and straight that you can hang on to. And the goal is to just work those hands closer and closer as you gain more flexibility in your shoulders. Elbow touch is a really simple exercise, but you'll find it gives you a really good stretch in the shoulders and the upper back. Cross arm stretch probably takes you back to middle school PE, but it's great to stretch out the shoulders, especially after a long swim. Our final stretch is a tricep stretch, and this is going to help stretch out those triceps after swimming, but also help on some flexibility in those shoulders for the swim. So you want to try to get your elbow as high behind you as possible and really reach that hand down your back to get a good stretch.